Today's topic is grammar. Hello guys, welcome to my 6th episode of Language Talking. I'm super happy that you're with me, and I want to talk a little bit about grammar today, because so many people say that you shouldn't start with learning grammar. Well, actually, grammar is something awful, and you shouldn't learn it while you're learning languages. Yes, so I have also met such opinions that grammar is totally useless. But it's not. Well, how do you want to string words together in sentences without grammar? Man! Of course, no one says that you should learn all the grammar at the beginning of your language journey. No one says that you have to know all the language like grammar terms to describe all language processes and everything. You don't have to go that deep. But there is something necessary. You know, you can't just learn words and think that you've mastered the language. Please. Even if you learn, okay, so there is this method of learning 1,000 words, basic words for a language. So what is a word then? Okay, because if I learn to be in English, is it enough, or do I have to learn as separate words? Am, so I am, you are, he, she, it, is. So this am, are, is are the separate words. So that would make the number of those words probably much higher. Yes, not 1,000, maybe 2,000. And with English this is quite easy. Like, you don't have declensions, you don't have conjugations so much. So actually it goes. Yes. So you have an apple, and this is apple, whatever. Yes, you see an apple, you have an apple, the apple is good, etc. But what about languages with something more than that? We've got Spanish, for example, with conjugations, and well, the same as in English with to be again. In past was were, separate words. Yes. So, and you have to learn somehow grammar. When do you use were, was, when do you use is? Because if I want to say I was at the cinema tomorrow, it doesn't make sense. So the mistake is either it was yesterday or either it would be tomorrow, but you need some grammar for it. You cannot just not use grammar and be happy without it. You have to know some basics. So there are very good textbooks and teachers who just would teach you enough grammar to communicate at the given level. But the further you go, the further your progress, you would need more grammar. Is it something bad or something horrible? Not for me. Well, I love it. I really love grammar, because this is interesting. And then you can compare how it works in different languages. Because it's not only one language that you learn. You learn some kind of structure that you can use with other languages. So when you learn grammar for English, then those grammar ideas might be useful for other languages, like when you start learning Spanish. Imagine this situation. You already know from English what present perfect is. And you know well how to form it, but most importantly, how to use it. And then your teacher, you're learning another language, let's say Spanish or whatever, and then your teacher says, okay, this works more or less like present perfect in English. So there are a few differences like this or that, but more or less this is the idea. And wonderful, you're there. In my mother tongue, in my native language, in Polish, you don't have present perfect. You have nothing that's similar to it. So I've learned it for the first time when I was learning English. And then, any time I have such a thing in other language, it is there. I have it from English. I know what it is. So it's super useful. Of course, I've learned it in due course. It wasn't like a second lesson, yes, English. Please, children, open your notebooks and write the topic of the lesson, present perfect. No. I had very good teachers, luckily. But this is it. And usually we don't have time for baby-like immersion. You don't have teachers like parents who teach you 24 hours a day. You're not surrounded all the time by the language. You need to grammar. You would either discover it yourself, or you would be helped to discover it and given some information, some clues. The second way is much faster. You know, there are a lot of people who live in a different country, and they've lived there well, I don't know, for 5 years, and they still can't speak the language. Like nothing. They can say maybe, you know, a few words, but because of their job, because of their choices, they are immersed. They're like I don't know, like children in the dark. But not those children who learn. They can say a word like when they need something, but you need grammar also to share some more abstract ideas. How are you going to immerse yourself in a sentence that by this time next year I will have recorded 100 videos? I think it's impossible. You need some grammar explanation, you know, or something. This is quite an advanced stuff. And of course, you know, like if you want to stop at A1, A2 level, just pure communication, you can learn by heart some phrases from a phrase book. This is also good. But if your goal is somewhere higher, is advanced, then you just cannot like live without grammar. It is there. It is there. Of course, if you learn a very similar language to your own, like for example, you're still in the European family, or better in the smaller family, so you know English and you learn English not good. You know German and you learn English. This way is easier. You don't need so much grammar at the beginning. You just feel it more or less. It's like when I'm learning, Russian, which is quite similar to Polish. I get it. I just understand most of it. But when I'm taking an Uzbek textbook and I'm trying to get through those texts, I really need to know the grammar. I need that this word is a pronoun for first person. This is something that makes a question, because you just can't learn. And those little parts, prefixes, suffixes, are just glued to the words, so the words grow like in German. And you need to see those little parts inside one word, actually. So this is what grammar is for. It's of course my opinion. You can have a different opinion, and that's wonderful, and I would love you to share your opinion in the comment sections. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Even if you don't agree with me, give it a thumbs up. Maybe this is a good way of, encouraging some discussion. And please subscribe to my channel. Please! Okay, if you want, just subscribe. See you next time. Bye bye.